welcome to the final live of this series. We're currently on P&O's Britannia. We are in the Solent now. So what you're looking at there is the Isle of Wight and Cowes. Obviously there is on the left hand side, a bit further down beyond that the Needles, and then on the other side there you've got sort of Lymington, Hurst Castle, that sort of stuff that way, and then over here you can't see it really yet, is Southampton, but there's not an awful lot to see, but I thought it might get a bit more interesting the closer we get, but at the minute that's as exciting as it is with the Isle of Wight over there. Way down there in the distance you can see Southampton water down at the edge of the ship. The Queen Mary 2 is actually following us in as well. Can't see her at the minute. Maybe when we do sort of a spin you might see her a bit more. But yeah, it's not a lot to see at the moment. Let's say you are looking at Southampton water there, Solent is there, and there's the Isle of Wight over there, so it is pretty dark at the minute. I'm hoping the light is going to come thick and fast. Thanks for the light, good morning, hi to everyone. I'm hoping this is going to get far more interesting, guys, because at the minute it's pretty dark, but it'll pick up once we get into Southampton water, which according to the ship tracker it's going to be in about 15 minutes. It feels like it's quite slow at the minute process, but I've said this before, when you come across the Solent you don't just come across directly, you sort of come across in a bit of a wonky fashion. So it's one of those that you can't really see a lot until you really sort of come into Southampton water, which is sort of directly over there. It's a shame we can't see the Queen Mary 2. I think if I was right at the back of the ship I would be able to see her as well. She's been on a transatlantic cruise. She's coming back from New York, I understand, so yeah, she's had longer. She actually left on August the 8th, which was my birthday, which feels like an eternity ago. I mean, it's a week ago, isn't it? A week today. So she's been at sea since my birthday. That seems like a long time. Yeah, as I say, we're just looking at the beginning of Southampton water. Give a shout out to Alice in Wonderland, as you are so nicely. I'm not sure whether those bright lights over there are... No, that isn't the Queen Mary 2. I think I can't get my tracker up at the same time as doing this. I think if we were to be able to see behind the ship, that's when we would see her. perhaps we'll see her a little bit later on when we sort of make the turn, because in a minute we'll be sort of doing a sort of a left-hand turn towards where the lights are, so that's when we might see her. When we get to Hull, we normally would be on the right side to see everything, but they actually reverse chain you in, so she can then obviously sail straight out. So we'll be on the Titanic dock side, so if you are sticking with it, you'll see exactly where Titanic sailed from. They don't use her anymore, use that dock anymore, not for sort of the big ships anyway. But you'll certainly see where she went from. As I say, thank you very much for connecting up. I know it's not an awful lot to see at the minute, not an awful lot of excitement, but it will get better, hopefully. And do like and subscribe and hit that bell button so that when we are live in the future, you will know. I do lives pretty much every day anyway. Maybe not as glamorous as being on a cruise ship, but I certainly am live every day, usually with the dog. So yeah, I was hoping it might be starting to get a bit light now, but I suppose that's probably going to be at least another sort of 45 minutes to an hour before we start seeing real light, which is a shame. But and it's always like this when these cruise ships come in. They come in early, get people off, so they've got time to then get the next lot on and all that sort of stuff. It takes time, doesn't it, I suppose, sort of moving sort of 4,000 people, that's all the suitcases, the cars, all that sort of stuff. It's a long process, isn't it? I think people sometimes forget sort of the process that's involved when these sort of big ships come in, and also think about it for a second. There's 2 other ships behind us coming in. We've got the Queen Mary 2, I'm not sure how much she holds. And I think, is it Vista? I think there's a Vista is coming in as well. So there's at least 3 cruise ships in port today, and I'm not sure if there's anything else. But yeah, so it's going to be a reasonably busy day, for sure. Thanks for all the comments, it does mean a lot. At the minute it feels very, very early. I don't know where everyone's watching from, but in the UK, or just off the coast of UK, it's currently 4:15. If I sound half dead, that's why, because I'm absolutely shattered. I think we went to bed in the end. It wasn't as late as it was going to be. It's probably about 11, but the clocks on the ship went back an hour, so it actually became 10, didn't it? So it did gain an hour. But yeah, I still feel like I was on me a little bit this morning, to be honest with you. And I think maybe that is Queen Mary just down there in the distance behind us. Not quite sure when we make the turn. It might be sort of when we get to this sort of white buoy and then go sort of around that red buoy over there. I'm not quite sure when we make the turn. Everything looks so much different at night than it does during the day, so I would be able to give you some sort of perspective of where we were if it was during the day. But when it's at night, it's far more difficult. But I think, as I say, we will be sort of making a left turn. Pretty much, when we're around these buoys here, if you can see them sort of flashing there in the distance. As I said at the beginning, it's a funny old situation when you come into Southampton because, say, the untrained maritimer would probably go direct straight across as the crow flies, but obviously there are clearly highs and lows within the channel there, I guess, and that's why they have to come across in such a sort of wonky fashion. So yeah, the pilot boat I think came on probably around about 4 o'clock. No, it's a bit before that actually. It's probably about 3:15. I did actually go up to the top deck at that time, but I could see it was going to be a bit of a slow burner. So I thought to myself, yeah, it's not necessary to sort of stay there that long. So as you can see, it looks like now we are making the turn. We're right by this buoy that I was talking about, that we will start making the turn. And then in the distance there you've got a red one and a green one flashing. Now I assume we have to go between those. Don't know. Doesn't look like a massive gap if we do, but maybe the green buoy is where you get the okay to make the swing. Perhaps, I don't know. I'm not sure. We are definitely turning, and you can see that by the wake where we were. So I was just looking at see if we definitely can see the Queen Mary, I think, because that is the other white in the distance. I can't see her. We'll turn, but we're not going to have to see her. Keep an eye out for that, guys, in my other eye. At the minute, as you say, we are now going into Southampton water. But I actually think I was right. I think we do have to go between the red and the green one, because it looks like that's how it's swinging. Because I've lost sight of the green one now, and there's the red one flashing there. Look at it there. What a shame. I thought we would be able to see Queen Mary. Yeah. She might be slightly further away than I thought. Well, she was definitely behind us because I saw her initially. So yeah, it looks to me like you have to go, all these guys, they have to go between the red and the green buoys all the way down. That is definitely the process. Well, she's definitely out there somewhere, so maybe we'll see her a little bit later. For now, we are now well and truly into Southampton water. Massive cruise ships, you'd see them lit up like a Christmas tree, wouldn't you? There are two others behind us, dancing boat. say, this we've got well and truly in Southampton water now, so we'll be making our run up to Perth. As I say, we will be reversing in, so obviously the boat will at some stage do a complete turn closer to the dock. Get some sort of perspective on the other ships coming in. Certainly nothing to see at the moment. I certainly think if you can see those sort of bright lights in front of sort of the more dimmer lights, that definitely is her, but I'm not so sure about that because it hasn't really moved and I've been keeping an eye on it, so I'm not sure about that. But yeah, just concentrating on where we're going. Some bright lights coming up on the ships on the left hand side. Don't know what they are. If they're anything significant, or they're just fishing boats. Not sure. When we get closer, we'll know. I don't know if the wind is coming out, guys, but it is quite blowy up here as well. So it will catch a bit of wind. It moves the phone as well. So I'm trying my best. Do make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Does really mean a lot, as I say. I am live quite a lot. In fact, I'm live every day mostly. Not on cruise ships, but with the dog. We talk about everything and nothing. Pretty much like we have done when we've been doing the lives up on deck. When I've been doing those, when I've been doing my daily walk, you know. Into the Solent. Can't really see much, so it's too dark. Over that is the Isle of Wight over there. We're just looking up Southampton water. Well, at some stage we will be making a complete 180, I guess, and reversing into the dock. So we will be essentially on the side, looking out onto the Titanic berth, which if you were with me when we departed, you would have seen that. You can't see any of the two other cruise ships. They're hiding. They're definitely out there. Feels like a slow process when you've been going sort of 20 odd knots. Now we're probably doing something like 4, 5, 6, something like that. It feels so much slower. They have to be slower when they're in the river. As I say, still can't see anything much other cruise ships wise, so not a lot to see there.